If you never installed a ceiling fan on a sloped ceiling or cathedral ceiling using a Downrod, you came to the right video. In this video, we're going to be installing this ceiling fan. It came from Lowe's. It's made by Harbor Breeze. And if you didn't have one already, you need to get a Downrod. My name's Josh, and if this is your first time visiting this channel is all about building your own house and DIYing to save a ton of money. So if you want to, you may want to subscribe so you get a notification every time I release a new video. Okay, let's get started on that ceiling fan. So in this video, I'll be installing the Coastal Creek by Harbor Breeze. And this is the Downrod I got. It is a 24-inch, and it's also made by Harbor Breeze. And just a little tip, whenever you're shopping for the right ceiling fan, make sure in the picture, or you can look in the description, it says there are mounting options. And make sure it has a little Downrod on the picture, and it's not like a flush mount like this one. And if you look down into the bottom of the box, it'll say flush mount. You need to make sure you're able to adapt a Downrod to it, because in this model, you cannot. So the first thing you'll want to do is go ahead and unpackage everything in the box. So that way you're not fumbling around with stuff as you get everything put together. And also, if you're interested in a ceiling fan, it's about $80 from Lowe's on any given day. I picked this up last week and it's still the same price. Here's everything included in the box. If you watched my last video, the biggest difference between this one and the flush mount model is, as you can see here, you have a lot longer wires so you can fish it through the Downrod. And this is the Downrod that comes with it. So ultimately, all you do to extend this rod is switch out this piece, and you still got to keep this piece, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so the first thing you do, take this piece and remove this part. It's just a little pin you pull out, and then this slides out right like that. So now you're left with this, and then take this screw out the top. All right, and that's gonna kind of slide down. Let me set that to the side, and oops. All right, so this is the piece that you're gonna need, so keep that, and take this little ground wire off. Okay, and now set that to the side because you're gonna need that. All right, so now we're going to transfer the new Downrod onto the ceiling fan. Here's the fan motor. The first thing we need to do is take the screws out here on the sides. Or you can just back them out just enough to get that rod in, because those just clamp against the rod. All right, now we gotta fish the wire that's coming out the top of the motor into this rod. So the easiest way I found to get these wires through this rod is to take something flexible. In this case, it's a zip tie, a long zip tie that's used for ductwork, and just fish it down through the top. And you can use anything as long as it'll slide down through. Just take your wires like this and tape them to whatever you use to fish through there. Obviously, point the wires in the same direction that they're going. Just put a little piece around whatever you have it fish through. Right like that. Then just pull your wires through. It makes it way easier than trying to shove those wires through that pipe. Just pull it nice and easy. You want to go down and line up the holes right here with the holes that's in this pipe, or Downrod, I might want to say. Like that. Then you take this pin that you took out the little Downrod that has the hole here, and then you slide it through. Then take this pin and push it through right like this. So that ultimately holds the fan. And then what you want to do is snug up these screws here. That just keeps the rod in there nice and solid. Tighten them up a little more. All right. And then what you do is you just slide that piece we put on earlier, and that just kind of covers up that whole situation. So something I've learned over the years is make sure you do as much as you can on the ground before you get up on the ladder. So you'll want to take this piece that came in the package and go ahead and disassemble this part, because we need this bracket out of the top. So when you take those out, then just loosen these, and this should just kind of pop out. Take this and install it up on the ceiling like this. And depending on your model of bracket that's in the ceiling, you might have a metal box that has the screws already on it, but in this case, I got a saddle box, so it came with this screw and this screw, so it's gonna go right like this. So I'll go ahead and push my saddle box screws up in it, so that way it's already pre-started. All right, so after you got your rod mounted onto the fan motor, you're gonna have these wires sticking out and there's nothing up here yet. So the first thing you do is take that cover that was on the mounting bracket, and you'll wanna slide this through, slide it down onto the fan. And then next you'll take this piece, slide it down through like this as well. Like I said, it needs to be pointing down. Next, you'll want to mount your ground wire onto the rod. All right, and now just slide this cone part up like this. Then take this pin that you took out earlier, slide it through the fan, right like that. Then take your screw that you took out earlier, this one, and go ahead and put it in right like this, and tighten that up. All right, so now we're ready to get up on the ladder and mount our bracket that's gonna hold everything. Be sure to kick your breaker off before you start hanging the ceiling fan, so that way you don't get shocked. All right, so I got the bracket anchored on the ceiling. There's my bolts I used to bolt it in. So in this case, we got the fan that's here on a 12-2 wire and the light that's on 12-2 wire. And the reason why it is the way it is because this fan's on its own switch, single switch, and this is off a 3-way switch. So I had to make a 3-way for this light only. So I had to run a 12-2 wire from my 3-way switches. And the switches are here and over here. So in case you're wondering, that's why there's two 12-2 wires. Okay, so now we bring our fan up here and hook it in here just so it holds, so I can wire this baby up. All right, now you just need to lift your ceiling fan up and place it in the bracket, right like that. And there's a little groove it's gonna slide in so it doesn't pivot left and right. So now we gotta trim these wires down and wire this baby up right in here. So I'm gonna do that next. So I'm not gonna record it, but I'll go ahead and cut the wires and wire it together and tell you why I wired it and how I wired it. So I trimmed the wires. This is what I got all the neutrals tied together. I got the fan motor tied black to black. I got blue to this black, which is to the lights. And then I got the grounds all tied together, and that's my bare copper up there. So now I'll put these nice and neat back into the box here, and then put my cover up over that. And depending on your situation, refer to the owner's manual to see how you need to wire this. The next thing you want to do is take these little washers and this pack of screws and put all these washers on all these screws, because they're going to attach to these fan blades and the fan blade holders. So I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty simple. All right, so all you gotta do is take your blade, and it's double-sided, so you can pick either color. So I'm gonna go with the darker color, and take your bracket that it came with. You see where the screws go right there? You just take the side that you want to show exposed, take the decorative side, and just slide it right into those little slots made for it. Then you'll see that you just take your screw, Get it started here, and then just take your drill. You can use a drill or a screwdriver. And do that to all the blades. Okay, we got all of our blades prepped and ready to go. So now what we need to do is take these little plastic pieces off, hold on to those screws because that's what's gonna hold our blades on. They notched out right here so you can get your drill up in here easier instead of angling in like this to take the screw out. That's a nice feature that I did not see on the last fan I did. So if you look here, you can just take it, slide it right there and it'll be nice and straight. Takes them right out. All right, so now you install your fan blades. It's pretty self-explanatory. They just fit up like this. Then you take the screws that you took out to bolt them in. While you're up on the ladder here, guys, be really careful. It's easy to lose your balance up on these tall step ladders. But as you can see, it doesn't take very long at all to get these blades on once you get started. Probably about 5 minutes, if that. So next step is you got to take out these little screws on the side of this. All right, on this model, you got this plug in here, and you just plug it into this and put this on. Then you replace these screws to hold it into place. Next step, install your light bulbs. The center chain, you fish down through the center. Then your side chain, you fish down through the side. And then remove this and this. Then all you do is slide your globe up over the little stem there, and then you'll replace all that stuff. Now you just need to install your pull chain handles. The one with the fan goes on the one to the side, and the one with the light bulb goes on the one in the center. I just want to show you this feature on this Harbor Breeze Coastal Creek ceiling fan. If you need to change the light bulb, you just lift up the light and then tilt it. Then it slides down and you can reach the light bulb. It has this cool little design here and a little catch right there. After you change the light bulb, you just slide it back up, tilt it over, and boom. All right, so the ceiling fan is complete. So that's what it looks like completed. Let's go kick the breaker on and see if it works. Here we go, let's test it. Looks like the fan kicked on. All right, so that is wired properly. Now I have this light on a 3-way, so I'm now gonna click the switch here and see what happens. All right, the light works. So that was from this switch here, and this switch here will operate the lights as well. So let's see if it works. It's on a 3-way. All right, success. All right, guys, so that's all there is to hanging a ceiling fan using a downrod like you see in here. And if you want to subscribe, that way you can follow along as I build this house and save a ton of money, go ahead and do that. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.